You know, our history is just full of secrets, right? Some are buried deep under volcanic ash, others are whispered in a grandmother's story. For literally millennia, some of these secrets have been locked away in silent objects, while others are alive and well, woven right into the daily traditions of communities all over the world. So today, we're going to explore two incredible ways we're unlocking this heritage. One with some seriously powerful technology, and the other with human connection.
So, let's start with the artifacts. I want you to imagine some of history's greatest treasures, holding secrets we have been desperate to learn. The problem is, for centuries, they've been totally locked away, damaged by time or disaster, making them completely inaccessible, well, until now. Okay, so take the Herculaneum papyri, for example. We're talking about entire libraries of ancient texts that were basically cooked into these brittle lumps by the eruption of Mount Vesuvius. I mean, for almost 2,000 years, if you even tried to read them, you just destroy them. So how in the world do you read the unreadable? Well, turns out you invent a new kind of time travel, and no, not with some sci-fi machine, but with some seriously cutting-edge science. We're now breaking right through these ancient barriers, peering inside objects to see them just as they were centuries ago, without ever laying a hand on them. See, there's this whole new wave of non-invasive tech that's letting us analyze these precious artifacts in ways that used to be pure science fiction. We can study their chemical makeup, their internal structure, even read the words written inside them, all without leaving a single scratch. It's wild. So you're probably wondering, how does this even work? Well, it's kind of like giving the scroll a super high-tech medical scan. Using a technique called X-ray fluorescence, or XRF for short, scientists can pick up on these tiny, tiny traces of metal in the ancient ink, things you'd never see with the naked eye. A computer then acts like a digital archaeologist, piecing together all these faint signals to reconstruct the text and virtually unrolling the scroll for the first time in millennia. It's an absolutely brilliant way of making the invisible visible. And believe me, this tech isn't just for reading old books. It can also help us figure out how things were made. For example, scientists are using it to analyze the decorative pastes used way back in 15th century Mamluk architecture in Egypt. By identifying the exact materials like red ochre, carbon black, and wax, they can basically reverse engineer the precise recipe used by master craftsmen over 500 years ago. They're bringing their techniques back to life. And what's just incredible is the sheer scale of all this. We can zoom way into the microscopic level, analyzing the chemical signature of an artist's paint, and then zoom all the way out to the macroscopic, using satellites to monitor and protect entire heritage sites from things like climate change or looting. It's like a high-tech CSI for culture, solving mysteries from every possible angle you can imagine. But here's the thing. Analyzing objects, that's really only half the story. What about the heritage that isn't written on a scroll or carved in stone? This brings us to a whole different, and honestly, just as important, dimension of our past. So let's really think about this for a second. When we think about heritage, our minds usually go to things in museums, right? Objects behind glass. But is that the whole story? Is history just stuff we look at? Or is it something more? Yeah, exactly. This quote just hits the nail on the head. Some of the most vital parts of our heritage aren't static. They are alive. They're practiced every single day by people and communities. And that is what we call living heritage. It's all about the traditions, the skills, the things people do that get passed down from generation to generation. It's like the cultural heartbeat of a place. I mean, just picture a Moroccan Medina. It's not some kind of historical theme park, right? It's a living, breathing city. You've got artisans still using centuries-old techniques. Markets are bustling just like they have for generations, and the whole space is a functional part of daily life. It is, quite literally, a living museum. So the big question is, how do you preserve a place like this without basically turning it into a museum exhibit, just freezing it in time? Well, one really powerful idea is community tourism, and this completely flips the old tourism model on its head. Instead of outsiders just coming in, it puts the local people in the driver's seat. They own the businesses, they tell their own stories, and they make sure that tourism supports their culture instead of wearing it away. And what's so great is that this protects so much more than just the buildings. It keeps that intangible heritage alive. You know, the stories, the music, the food, all that incredible craftsmanship you can't just stick in a display case. It ensures these skills actually have a future by making them economically valuable today. Okay, so we've looked at two really powerful approaches, right? One that decodes the secrets of the past with technology, and another that sustains the traditions of the present through community. The future of preservation, it's not about choosing one or the other, it's about bringing them both together. Now, if you put these two ideas side by side, yeah, they might seem like total opposites. One's all about technology and data focused on the physical object. The other is all about community and tradition focused on empowerment and participation. But if you look just a little closer, you'll see they're working towards the exact same goal, keeping our collective story alive and vibrant. And this all leads us to a really crucial point. True, complete preservation recognizes that heritage isn't just the object, it's also the knowledge of how to make that object. It's the ancient scroll, and it's the living storyteller who passes down the stories. We've got to value and protect both equally.
And that kind of leaves us with one last big question to think about. As we get better and better at reading the past, we have to ask ourselves, what are we doing to make sure that the skills, the traditions, and the cultural knowledge that created these masterpieces in the first place will continue to thrive for generations to come?